Let's get to the best betting picks on Thursday Night Football. Got the Patriots and the Jets, little AFC East rivalry matchup back in the day. No, it wasn't the Jets. I think it was the Dolphins who Belichick and them couldn't beat. The Jets have always been the stomping ground of the AFC East. The Jets are hot though, Tanner. They have 2 wins this season. They came in the last 2 weeks. The Patriots, meanwhile, I think they've won 7 of their last 8, something like that. They too are actually hot. They are cooking with grease. No, they've won 8 of the last 9, as a matter of fact. So we know the Patriots are going to win this game. We know that they should be favored, but what are you expecting in how it plays out?
So I think the Patriots are going to win the game. Obviously, they're an 11.5 point favorite, but why can't the Jets cover in this one? Like, why? I don't think they're going to, but if 11.5 was that free, like, it's the NFL. I think anything can happen. I think Patriots are a really good team, but if the Jets are going to get them, it's going to be this week on a short week, coming off a big win against the Buccaneers, returning home. This is just a spot where I think the Jets maybe can do something. Probably not, like 99% not, but don't just take 11.5 blindly and think the Patriots are going to blow them off the field. Like I do think the Jets still have some talent there. And coming off a win last week against the Browns, they were still able to put up points on the Browns. I know offensively they had a really rough showing, and Justin Fields is not that guy. But it's just a short week division game. It's something feels funny to me here. And I probably would not be laying 11.5 points with the Patriots. If I had to pick a side, like, hey, life on the line here, you got to make a pick. I'm taking the Patriots minus 11.5. But if the Jets are going to keep a game close with them, it's probably the spot.
So check this out. So I'm literally looking at this live while you were talking, just went back and looked. Let's go back to week 1 of the season. So Thursday Night Football divisional matchups. Season opener, the Eagles are favored by 7. They win by 4. So that's a cover for the underdog Cowboys. Week 2 is not a divisional game. Week 3, the Dolphins are like plus 11.5 on the road at the Bills. They lose by 10, so they cover. So we're now at 2-0. The next week, the Seahawks are favored by 1. They win by 3 against the Cardinals. So it's 2-1 for the underdogs there. Then we have the 49ers on the road against the Rams. The Rams were favored. I forget by how much. The 49ers win outright. So they're now 3-1. The next week, the Giants stomp the Eagles 34-17. That's 4-1 for division rival underdogs. The next week, the Steelers are favored to beat the Bengals. The Bengals win outright. We're now 5-1. Then next week's not a divisional game. Week after that's not a divisional game. And then the one we just saw on Thursday Night Football, the Raiders are plus 9.5 against the Broncos, and they lose by 3. So they cover that line. So division rival underdogs are 6-1 against the spread on Thursday Night Football this season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this just feels like Patriots are on top of the world. You just beat Baker and the Bucs. You finally beat a good football team. People are now saying that you're a legitimate AFC threat. You have all the momentum in the world. Jets coming off back-to-back wins. Obviously, Justin Fields is not that guy. We know that. Whoever's at quarterback is not the guy. Defensively, they've traded away people. But when you just look at the spot for the Patriots, this doesn't feel like a game where they just blow them off the field, in my opinion, knowing the Patriots. I think they got to come back to earth at some point. This would probably be the spot for it.
Now, look, the Jets beat the Browns in a way that only the Browns could manage to lose last week. Justin Fields had 54 passing yards. He had less than 80. He had less than 90 total yards. I think he had 82 total yards passing and rushing. There's just no way the Browns should ever lose that game. They give up a punt return and a kick return touchdown on consecutive kicks. It's just, there's no way the Jets should have ever won that game. However, they have been competitive. This is what I will say. They've been competitive from a betting perspective. So they beat the Bengals outright the week before that. That's 2 wins in a row. They don't cover against the Panthers, but it's 13-6, and that game was in the balance. I think it was 7-6 in the fourth quarter. So that was tight. They played the Broncos to 13-11. Again, I think Fields had 45 passing yards in that game, and they still covered that. They got blown out by the Cowboys before that, but then they covered against the Dolphins and they covered against the Bucs. And before that, get blown up by the Bills. And in the opener, they covered against the Steelers. So, like, from a pure betting perspective, this team has been able to hang around. And going off that trend of division rival underdogs being 6-1 against the spread, it would be even better if the Jets were at home. But I'm with you. The Patriots, we talked about this enough on the last show. We both actually took the Buccaneers because we were like, this is a huge step up for the Pats. The Bucs are coming off of a bye week, and it's just a spot where it favors the Bucs. Credit to the Patriots. They are answering every call, and I do expect them to win this game. But is it possible they put a lot of eggs into that basket? They're not going into this game telling themselves we have to win by 11.5. They're going into it thinking we just got to win. Short week. We're going to play within the margins, win 17-14, win 20-13, something like that. And that could still allow the Jets to cover.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think one thing, if you are looking like, it's hard to, parlays aren't necessarily the way to go, but I do enjoy a good parlay sometimes. So if you're looking at the parlays here for this game, Jets Patriots on the money line, obviously you can't just take the Patriots on the money lines. Minus 800 provides really no value. But Grant, since I provide some gems to the people here on the podcast, I don't know if this is a gem or not, but I was looking around. If you want to go first half 3-way winner, Patriots minus 330 to win the first half, down from minus 800 to win the game. Now, obviously, if it's tie, you lose. Or if you want to go first half winner, minus 460 versus minus 800 for the game. I'm sorry, if the Patriots don't win the first half, they're not covering the spread. They might not win the game outright,
Right. And also, in what world are the Jets actually winning at halftime?
1 in 100. I don't think the Jets can score. For them to win the game, it's got to be 10-7 at the half, or to cover. It's 10-7 at the half. You come out of the locker room, maybe you take a lead, maybe, but probably it's 11.5. You're down 17 most of the game and you score late. That's kind of the world where I see the Jets covering in this one. But again, short week division opponent, you're getting double-digit spread. That's not easy.
No, I'm with you. So it sounds like we're both on the Jets plus 11.5. Let me give you a couple of my
stay away. I'm stay away.
Staying away? Okay. Let me give you a couple of my player prop picks here in this game. So first one, I'll take Breece Hall over 15.5 receiving yards. They've tried to run the ball with him. It's too easy for opposing defenses to key in and stop him because Justin Fields looks like he can't get to 60 yards passing in a game. And that's because he hasn't recently. So they have to get the ball in Breece's hands one way or another. Only caught one ball last week, but it did go for 42 yards. He actually only had 14 receiving yards in the weeks before that, and he had 0 the week before that. But he does have some big games. He had a week of 38, 31, 30, 42. Like I mentioned, he just did have 42 last week. So I think they just have to find a way to get the ball into his hands. New England has been really good against the run this season. So check down, screens, things like that. Couple of catches, gets him over 14.5.
I like that play. I think that's a smart one there. And he's one of the last guys remaining on the Jets roster with a pulse. So
yeah, him and Garrett Wilson. Although Wilson's out for a month.
Yep. My pick, I'm going to take Drake Maye, and I'm going to take him under 241.5 passing yards here. He has been cruising over this number, 270, 259, 282, 222, 261. I just don't think the Patriots are going to have to throw the ball like they've had to be in this game. You look at what the Buccaneers defense did to them. They didn't shut down the run, obviously, because Henderson had some really big carries, which skewed the stats. But for the most part in there, the Patriots got going in that game because of the deep ball early. I think it was Pop Douglas, maybe. I don't remember.
Mac Hollins had one at the end too that helped out.
There was a couple explosive passes, which was the majority of their offense. I know they had the big run, but for the most part, again, it was the explosive passes. I don't think they're gonna have to do this in this game. I think they're gonna be able to run the football. I think they're gonna slow down the pace and play a physical Thursday night game. I just don't think we need the Drake Maye 240 yard passing game tonight. So I'll take him on Thursday. So I'll take him under 241.5.
Well, that fits in perfectly with my next pick, which is Stefon Diggs under 54.5 receiving yards. And of course, I closed the tab that I needed when I had it open. But Stefon Diggs, yes, he's big in name, but you look at his receiving output, he's had some nice catches. He's timely, had a really good touchdown going into halftime of that Bucs game, but still only finished that game with 46 receiving yards. The weeks before that, it's 38, 14, gets an over with 69, but then he's back to 28 before that. Just overall, he's gone under in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games this season. So 6 unders, 4 overs. And like you said, this is a game where he does not need to go over. He doesn't need to go over. Drake Maye doesn't need to go over. Justin Fields might not get to 50 passing yards. So Drake Maye doesn't need to get to 250. Drake Maye could get to 170. And heck, maybe they decide to feed Travion Henderson, seeing what he did last week with the explosive plays. Like, just keep knocking at the door, and eventually maybe that Jets defense lets you in. Maybe you get a 60, a 70-yard explosive run. So, yeah, I really don't see this being a good day for either offense, more so by choice for the Patriots.
Yeah, they don't even have passing props listed for Justin Fields right now.
Well, I mean, I wonder if it could be the fact that they're waiting to see if
He gets to start.
if Tyrod Taylor starts. It could also just be the fact that
You can't.
How do you make? I mean, he had a 300-yard game this season against someone, I forget who, and then he's had multiple 50-yard games. How do you even make a line for that?
You don't. It's that simple. You don't. You can't when he's throwing for 50, because you just don't know. He could throw for 200. He could throw for 42 yards. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get out of him. I missed the Justin Fields we saw early in the season against the Steelers, like when he was lighting it up in week 1.
Yeah, he was great in that game. He had 218, 3 total touchdowns, no turnovers, ran for another 50 yards. He had 283 against the Cowboys, 244. This is ridiculous. His last 4 games, Tanner, 45 yards, 46 yards, 244 yards, 54 yards.
Yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get. So you probably can't even post a line.
He had 27 yards against the Bills in week 2 as well. So he has 4 games under 55 passing yards.
I don't know what to say. He's not that guy. But, like, I like Justin Fields. I just don't know how these guys can go from so good in college to so bad in the NFL. Like, it truthfully, did the Chicago Bears kill him that much inside? Like, did the Chicago Bears rip his heart out and, like, his brain?
He looked all right let me go look at his games with the Steelers.
He got benched, though, didn't he? Like,
he did get benched, but when he got benched, he had 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 passing touchdowns. So 10 total touchdowns, 1 interception. The Steelers were 4-2. His passing yardage was 156, 117, 245, 312, 131, 145, and he was averaging about 40 rushing yards per game.
He's never been the same since. So, anyways, Grant, I got a couple touchdown scorers if you want them for this game.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so I'm going to take Breece Hall just off the top. I'm not breaking any records here. I'm not saying anything people don't know. If the Jets are going to score, I imagine Breece Hall is going to be one of the most likely options to score. You're getting him plus 135. If he doesn't score, I don't think the Jets are going to be like throwing the ball all over the field for wide receivers to score. So I'll take Breece Hall there plus 135. Now I got 2 long shots. Pop Douglas plus 450. Pretty good line there.
I like that.
Sauce Gardner no longer on the defense for the New York Jets, which is huge. I think the Patriots do have a ton of receiving threats. Obviously, if you're going to get a guy like Pop Douglas in the end zone, it's probably a game like this just to try some new things, get some other guys involved. So plus 450, I think is pretty good value there. Again, scored 3 times on the season. He didn't score last week, but scored the week before. And then my last pick here, New England defense plus 600 for a little anytime touchdown. I hate playing the defenses. I don't love playing defense, but I think this is the spot for it. Justin Fields turned the ball over. You never know what you're going to get. Patriots have had some defensive touchdowns this season against bad quarterbacks. Remember the strip sack on Cam Ward. This is a spot where they could easily do that. I also see Justin Fields potentially throwing a pick. So value there. Let's just say you parlay them. Let's say you have a good time parlay them. Plus 9,203. Put $5 on that. You win 460. Put $10 on it. You win 920.
The retirement parlay. I like it.
Yeah.
You know who had the explosive play? Because I'm looking at the odds right now. It was Kyle Williams. He had the 72-yarder against the Bucks. I'm looking at him for plus 430. Don't think he's going to score, but let me tell you, that's how you earn yourself opportunities. Catch a 72-yard touchdown. Maybe if you can get a receiving line on him, maybe they'll throw him a couple balls this game. Who knows?
And that's why the Bucks lost, because you got a guy like that having massive touchdowns.
And the Patriots really didn't have anything going at that point in the game.
No.
And considering that they scored on the final play of the first half and got the ball coming out of halftime, the fact that score put them up, 14-7, I think, right?
Yeah.
If it had just been to tie it 7-7, no, it's a completely different game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the two big runs and the score before the half and the deep throw to Mac Hollins and the deep touchdown. Like, it was all explosive plays that killed the Bucs. Overall, if you take away those, they were pretty good. But when you give up the big explosives, you're not going to be good.